Last week, we did the AFC. Now it's time for the NFC. We predict all four division winners and the favorites in the NFC conference.
You are Locked On NFL, your daily NFL podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Locked On NFL. I said NFC Conference, so it's conference day here on Locked On NFL. I'm James Rapien. He is Tony Wiggins. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts and hit follow. And thank you so much for making us your first listen. Today's show is brought to you by LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. And Tony, we started with the AFC last week, and if you missed that, make sure you check out Wednesday's episode of Locked On NFL. It goes wire to wire, all things AFC, probably the best the AFC has been in quite some time. To me, it's certainly the superior conference to the NFC, but it is time to talk about the NFC today. And let's start with the defending NFC champs, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the NFC East, because I think that this division is pretty darn good and probably the best in this conference.
Good division. And it's about time, because traditionally this division was really, really good when I was growing up. It was like the SEC of the NFL. And it's glad to see it. I'm glad to see it back. You mentioned something. You mentioned how strong the AFC is. You're right. It is. But here's another thing to think about and ponder this question. Would you rather be in the stronger conference where teams beat each other up and then all you got to do is win one game when you get to the Super Bowl, or vice versa? Is it the fact that you're in the stronger conference? Does that mean that you're more ready to play a big game because you've been playing them all year?
Oh, I'd rather be in the NFC. I would rather be in the NFC, the road, the easier road, and then you give me 60 minutes to win the Lombardi. I would take that versus having to face Mahomes or Allen or Burrow or Lawrence or Rodgers or, Lamar. And there's going to be a fan base mad that I didn't mention their quarterback, Herbert. We can keep going on and on, but that's how good that's how good the AFC is versus the NFC, where quarterbacks wise, it certainly doesn't compare. No. But in this division, and we'll go division by division, but let's start in the East. Like I said, Jalen Hurts to me is clearly the best quarterback in this division. Dak Prescott has slipped back to he's still above average, but I don't think anyone considers him a top 5, top 7 quarterback at this point going into the year. Sam Howell has been impressive. I think some people were impressed by him on Monday night, and who knows what he could bring to Washington. And then obviously we have Daniel Jones. He got paid this offseason. So if you had to rank them, Jones would probably be 3rd, Howell 4th going into the season. But I think it's interesting because to me, Hurts is the clear number 1, and everyone else is sort of battling for that 2 spot division-wise as far as the quarterbacks rankings go.
I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to say Daniel Jones is number 2 in that division.
I wouldn't debate you hard. I don't feel strongly on either guy.
I don't either. It's just that I feel like one guy finally got good coaching and he's doing this, and the other guy's been in the league a long time. And I wouldn't necessarily say Dak is going down, but I do think he's plateaued a little bit. He should be at the point in his career right now where it doesn't matter who his coach is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like whoever's over there, he should be at the point of his career the way Aaron Rodgers was a couple of years ago before he kind of made everybody angry. And that is that, what are you doing taking the ball out of his hand? What do you mean you're going to kick a field goal? What are you doing, coach? You remember everybody used to blame the coach of the Packers for everything until last year. Now, all of a sudden, no, because the guy said he went in the cave, everybody forgot that they used to blame the coach for everything that went wrong. Well, Dak should be at that point. He's not. Everybody's still blaming everything on Dak, and that's because the coach has a Super Bowl and Dak doesn't. and they fired now a head coach and then an offensive coordinator, and nothing's changed. He missed 5 games last year and still threw more picks than anybody. So I'm going Daniel Jones #2 because I think he's coming off of his best season, and I think the guys in his locker room probably have more confidence in him than they do Dak in Dallas.
Yeah, I get it. I totally do. I think division-wise, it's going to be interesting to see how the Giants do. Do they continue to ascend? Are they able to make that work and continue to improve? I like the Darren Waller addition. And so that part of it is interesting to me. I like their defensive line, some of the pieces. Kayvon Thibodeau probably going to take a step forward. That said, I think the Eagles are just above everybody else. Deepest defensive line. Their offensive line, they're really good in the trenches. We know about Jalen Hurts. We know what he brings. Outside weapons, they got him better than anyone else in this division. And so the Cowboys, I think, have a really good roster. The Giants obviously made the postseason last year. Washington could be sneaky. Ron Rivera coaching for his job. I think that's very realistic to make that statement. But to me, it's still the Eagles as the class of the NFC or NFC East. And I know some would say the NFC least, right? That was the old saying that would go with the NFC East. It's not the least anymore. And the Eagles, to me, are flying high above the rest.
They are. I mean, at every position, they seem to be that program that sort of has it rolling right now. Like nothing that they do is going to look like it's the wrong thing to do. Every draft pick, they're like, wow, how could you let them fall to Philadelphia? You know what I'm saying? It's like that's every recast running back that gets picked up, and they're like, wow, how could you let the Eagles get them for just $1 million? You know, so it's almost as like right now they are hot, and everything that they're doing is hitting. And it you know, for me, it's almost like the Steelers when the Steelers chose Mike Tomlin instead of Ken Whisenhunt. And then Tomlin and Whisenhunt met in the Super Bowl. So it's like they were wrong if they were wrong. So they fired Doug Peterson, and now they're right back. And even though Doug Peterson's a great coach, they fired him 3 years after he won the Super Bowl. But then they went back to the Super Bowl 3 years later. So it's almost as if like it doesn't matter what they do, everything's going to work, right? The one team I say is difficult is Washington. And that's because everything's new. You think they really got the stink out of the building, the fungus. It was the entire leadership, all of that stuff. But then you forget about how many really, really good players they have at these different positions.
They do, yes.
They're wide receivers. They got a bunch of tough, 5'11" tough guys playing wide receiver who can high point balls. They have a bunch of running backs. They have a front load of players in their front seven, and then they drafted a kid that looks real good at corner in Forbes. So it's like, for me, we forget Sam Howell was a big-time recruit. I don't forget because he said he was going to Florida State, and he changed and went to North Carolina. He never beat Florida State after he went to North Carolina. But the thing is you know how good of a passer he is. So it's not even about where he was drafted. It's about his arm strength and his ability to make the kind of throws you need to make in the NFL. And I think he has it. And Eric Bieniemy has something to prove. That might be a sneaky team. And we forget just 2 years ago, they were in a divisional game against Tampa, hosting a divisional game against Tampa the year Tampa went to the Super Bowl. So, man, I'm telling you.
Say it. Go ahead and say it.
Sneaky. Watch them.
Oh, I thought you were going to say second place in the NFC.
No.
You're not willing to go there.
I ain't going to go there, but I'm telling you, that is a hard – when you wake up on Sunday and that has to be the team that you play, that is a hard game to win each and every week. That is not going to be easy.
I will. I'll go there. You just sold me on it. No, not really. You didn't sell me on it. I think that you could make a case that they will be the second best team. Emmanuel Forbes is a number one cornerback. I agree with you. I think he's an instant game changer. He's going to help them right away. I know a lot of NFL teams would have taken him, and maybe the one that I cover had he been available at pick 28. Didn't get past them at 16. Does it come down to Sam Howell? Of course it does, but he's got weapons around him. I like their front seven. I like their defensive line is going to get after you. And to me, they could be right in the mix and muck it up with the Cowboys and go toe-to-toe with the Giants team that's well coached and has its flaws as well. So if I had to go to the NFC East Division, if I had to predict it, and there's always a team that emerges out of nowhere, I have Washington be second behind the Eagles. Then it's Washington, the Commanders, Cowboys third. Whoa, disappointing. and the Giants back in the cellar at 4th.
I agree. I think that's a good way
You
to
agree?
go. I do. I'll go with you. I mean, I ain't gonna argue with you, but I'll ride with that. Tell you what we're gonna do. We're going to the NFC South. Is it the worst division not only in the NFC? Is it the worst division in football? We'll talk about that here in just a second on Locked On NFL. All right, I got to tell you about today's sponsor, who is Bird Dogs. Man, these shorts have been turning heads everywhere I go. People ask me, did I lose weight? Where'd you get those shorts? Those shorts make you look younger. That's right, because Bird Dogs make you look good, and they're stretch khaki shorts, and they're designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. They fit way better than regular shorts that are made of stiff, restricting cotton. Bird Dogs fix the issue by inventing cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki but stretches so you get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNFL or enter the promo code LockedOnNFL for a white tech hat with your order. That's right. That's this dope hat that they sent us. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnNFL or promo code LockedOnNFL for a free white tech hat. You won't want to take off your Bird Dogs. We promise you.
All right, so and let's get to the NFC South. You asked, is it the worst division in football? Heck no, it's not the worst division in football. You cover the worst division in football, my friend, and I'm going to remind you all season long that AFC South is so bad. The best running back in that division wants out. Jonathan Taylor, he's going to be asking a trade. He's desperately trying to maybe go to the NFC South because there's some fun teams that I'm interested in watching, and I could certainly watch their running games. And whether it's the Saints, Falcons, Bucks, or Panthers, young quarterbacks, interesting storylines, a coach in Todd Bowles. We've talked about this, probably coaching for his job this season in Tampa, whether it's fair or not. I like this division, and it doesn't have a high-end potential Super Bowl contender like the Jaguars. I also don't think it has a team that's going to be, win 2 games either. I think all 4 of these teams are capable of winning 6 games or more. Tampa, clearly the 4th best team in my eyes, but they have talent. It's not like they don't have a lot of those guys that helped Tom Brady win a Super Bowl a few years ago. So they still have talent. I think Baker Mayfield will win that job. So you're looking at a quarterback room of in this division, rather, Desmond Ridder, Baker Mayfield, Derek Carr, Bryce Young. Derek Carr stands out amongst the 4. I think he's the best quarterback in this division.
Me too. I agree with you what you said about Tampa. The thing that scares me about Tampa is their offensive line is totally revamped from the years of winning the Super Bowl. And, of course, Tom Brady.
And Jensen's hurt. He's coming back from an injury.
Right. So. And with Tom Brady not being there, and, of course, you're wondering about, the coaching and what's that going to be all about. Because you think that, their head coach is on, he's in a little bit of trouble. And that Bruce Arians doesn't have the cachet to stand over there and say, look, I just won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Give me more chance. Todd Bowles is in a little bit of trouble. But I'll go with the Saints too, man. Even Dan Orlovsky from ESPN put the Saints down as the second sleeper to win the Super Bowl. Who was first, but we don't need to go through that. It was Jacksonville. But he put him down, and I'm thinking, did you listen to our show, Orlovsky? Because I could swear, and I'm gonna say it for the 3rd week in a row, somebody picked the Saints as a sleeper on this show. Because I think Derek Carr's underrated. I think the Saints started fixing their offensive line 2 years ago. I do believe they got healthy at receiver. Kamara's suspension wasn't as much as you thought. They added depth at running back. Mike Thomas is coming back. Chris Olave, they hit on him. He was a stud. And they have a stud player at every level on their defense with Cam, with Davis, and then on the back end with Lattimore, and you can still include Honey Badger. They got a nice little mix there, and they got a nice little thing going with Dennis Allen being so familiar with the team. So I will go New Orleans number 1. I'll agree that Tampa's at the bottom, and I have to see the newness of Carolina. I like aspects of their roster, and I like their quarterback. I like their coach. the newness of them versus the not so newness of Arthur Smith in Atlanta, I think Atlanta gets a little bit of the advantage, even though, I'm not totally sold on Desmond Ridder, but I do believe that Atlanta has done enough on defense, and they did fix their offensive line. They've done some unorthodox things like draft a running back and a tight end, both in the top 8 of the last 2 drafts. But outside of that, I think they've done a lot with the infrastructure. I think they've done a real good job building a team.
I think that's the one team that realistically, week in and week out, might be able to give the Saints a run here in this division. I think the Saints should be the favorite. If I had to predict, it's almost kind of like Washington, where people are going to overlook it because the quarterback is unproven. But I watched the Falcons, and their first team offense only played 1 drive against the Bengals last week, but that's the team I cover daily. And man, Bijan looks the part. We know what Kyle Pitts is. Drake London with an awesome catch where he contorts his body and somehow gets a knee down on the sideline. It was a great throw by Ridder. I look at it, Tyler Algier behind Bijan, and it was really easy to see how that's going to work at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where they're going to be able to, that offense is going to work. They're going to be able to put up points. And then defensively, they added Jesse Bates and Calais Campbell, and they were able to get David Onyemata from New Orleans, by the way. I think that's a really nice pickup at nose tackle. Bud Dupree, we'll see what he has left. Jeff Okudah, I think he helps their cornerback room. Like, I could see this coming together for the Falcons. So I don't want to totally discount them, and I could see them making a playoff push, which more than likely means winning the division, because this is probably a 1 playoff team division. But I agree with you. I can't really pick against the Saints. I think they have more talent. We'll see when it comes to Michael Thomas. That's the part of this. If he stays healthy, I like their weapons. If he doesn't, I think it gets real shallow behind Chris Olave very fast. That said, I like Juwan Johnson. I think Derek Carr is an upgrade. And that defense, you're right, at every level, there's a playmaker or two. And so give me the Saints. Falcons are a close second, much closer than people realize. They may win 9 games this year, and the Saints win 10. And then after that, I think the Bucs could be okay. The Carolina Panthers have the edge, though. I think they just have a better roster overall. And I like Bryce Young. So Bryce Young in the Panthers 3rd, Bucs 4th.
This is setting up to be a really good NFL season so far. We rekindled rivalries in the AFC East. The NFC North ain't no telling who's gonna win that division. That's like having Duran, Sugar Ray, Thomas Hearns, and it's just all of those dudes in one division again. The 4 Kings. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And now you're
talking about the AFC North?
Yeah, the AFC North. And now now I'm carrying over from last week. And now what we have is we have the NFC East, which is not the NFC least anymore. And now we got the Falcons and the Saints battling it out for the NFC South. So we are really, when you listen to our show, we're setting it up that these traditional rivalries are going to come back, and these teams are going to be battling it out. We got 2 more divisions. You want to do them in segment 3?
Yep, let's do it. We'll do the other 2 divisions that we haven't done as the NFC preview continues right here on Locked On NFL. Today's show is brought to you by LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs is the #1 choice for small businesses, and every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to get it right. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you need LinkedIn Jobs. They help you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Simple tools like a questionnaire it's able to find the people that have the experience you're looking for, and the screening questions help you prioritize the candidates with the right skills and expertise so you can interview the people you need to and make hires quicker, streamline it, efficient. It's hard to find and hire people these days. LinkedIn Jobs can help, and they're going to help you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. You can post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Segment 3 here on the Wednesday, Locked On NFL with James Rapien, Tony Wiggins. We are looking at divisions. This week is the NFC. Last week it was the AFC. Make sure you check out Locked On NFL as a podcast every single day. Wherever you get your podcasts, we are free to subscribe to on YouTube. Hit that like and that bell. Also, it's a good next watch for you every single day to find out all of the things going around the National Football League. All right. So we've done the NFC East and we've done the South. Now we're going to do the North and then the West. The NFC North, I'm a little bit taken aback by it because for a long time it was just Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers, because they went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, so it's always been Green Bay Packers. I'm not so sure this year if that's automatic, but I'm still going to go Green Bay Packers because I do think they have a really, really good team still. I am still going with the Green Bay Packers.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa. Tony. Wow.
You know I love me some Aaron Rodgers, man, but I do. You know what I think? I think that kid learned something behind him. And he's not going to be Aaron Rodgers, but I do think Jordan Love will be a capable quarterback this year and that they have a lot of other stuff. Imagine us complaining about Rodgers not having weapons, and then we're saying now that those weapons are going to carry this team with that young quarterback.
Well, I mean, you're saying that now.
I am saying that. Yeah,
you're saying
you're
that
a Packer hater. I know you ain't going to say that.
A Packer hater? No,
yeah,
I love
I'm going to have to call Peter
and
Bukowski
I love
and tell
cheese
him you hate
curds, and I've been to Green Bay, and I've watched them, and it is much different. Even when Aaron Rodgers was replacing the Brett Favre, and he weirdly went in his footsteps, and now is a New York Jet, and it's really weird, the parallels between the two. Guess what? They won 6 games that first year.
Yeah.
It takes some time. I think it will take some time. I think he's going to play pretty well this year and give them some reason for excitement. That being said, can you put a little respect on Jared Goff's name? Okay, I'm just kidding. All right, that's Jared
You got to
Goff.
make the playoffs first. Jared Goff, yeah, okay.
And that's why I have the Lions second. Can we stop sleeping on Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings?
No.
Can we stop sleeping? Really? Best receiver in the league. They're able to go get the kid out of USC as well, Addison, who I think is going to make an impact right away. Man, people in Cincinnati are going to kill me for saying Jefferson's the best receiver in the league.
I was wondering why you even said it.
He's been the best receiver in the league. I wouldn't take Jamar. I wouldn't bet against Jamar over anyone. But
okay.
That said, like Justin Jefferson, look at the numbers. All right. And he's doing it with Kirk Cousins. Plus, if you watch that quarterback documentary, Kirk Cousins, I think he's easy to root for. I know everyone makes fun of him, all those things. I'll tell you what, he's better than Dak. He's better than Dak.
I give you that.
All right. So Kirk, Justin Jefferson, a defense that it feels like it's emerging a bit. I think their offensive line's okay. Offensive-minded coach. The Minnesota Vikings, everyone's sleeping on them, and it was weird last year, and they're going to regress some. And they are. They're not going to win 13 games, but they're still going to win the NFC North.
You must be convinced because I don't know if
put the chain on him.
If people are listening on audio, they didn't see you moving your little head around because whenever somebody sits there and they think that they said something good, their head shakes uncontrollably, and you was just sitting there the whole time.
Kirk Cousins.
You talking to me, you talking about Kirk Cousins. Your head was moving, so you might have convinced me to change. I'm gonna shake my head, and maybe my pick will change. Huh?
Before Trevor Lawrence, you would have loved to have Kirk Cousins in Jacksonville for the past 2 decades. Y'all would shuffle through quarterbacks. Like, let's not pretend that Kirk Cousins can't play.
I ain't pretending that he can't play. I just don't think he's ever going to win anything.
The moment that ended to Trevor Lawrence, Kirk Cousins would have been QB1 in your parts. Let's not get crazy.
But I still wouldn't have picked him to win the division. All right, so let me see. You know who I think is going to be really, really improved are the Bears. I do. I just like I think that they fixed.
You're going Packers Bears?
No, I'll go Packers, Vikings, Bears.
Oh,
I'll go Packers, Vikings. It ain't got nothing against Detroit. This is a solid division.
You putting the Lions last? Oh
no, I'm just saying this is a real. Matt Derrick's gonna kill me by you saying that. Shout out to Matt Derrick from Locked On Lions and Lauren Cox for Locked On Bears. How about both of them? How about both of them go like 9-8?
Who?
All of them, everybody except the Packers. The Packers win the division at 10-7, and the rest of all the other teams go 9-8.
See, you just don't want to make anyone mad. You just don't want to make anyone mad.
Because you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I sat here and forgot about Detroit real quick. So that's why
There we go. We go. You forgot about Detroit.
Detroit's good, but I'm still real hesitant on Jared Goff. I will tell you this. I'm not gonna pick at Dan Campbell anymore about eating up kneecaps and all. They proved that they understand what they're doing up there. They have a really, really good culture. Doug Peterson was very complimentary of them. They did joint practices last week. So that's a solid division. In fact, you know what? You done made me do it. You done pushed me. I'm going Minnesota last. I'm going Chicago second, Detroit third.
You are just...
this
is the worst prediction you've ever made in your life.
No, it ain't.
It's awful.
No, it's not.
It's awful. Oh, it's awful. Like, all right. They've
lost a lot, bro. They lost Thielen. They've lost Dalvin Cook. They've lost some people, and I still don't believe in the secondary.
Dalvin Cook is so valuable that he was just on the market for forever. He was on the market for forever. NFL teams are beating down his door. Oh wait, man, Dalvin Cook. Breece Hall needs a water break. Dalvin, get out there. All right, let's do the NFC North here. I'll say this: Vikings won, dethrone them. Let's see it, because Justin Jefferson is the best player in the entire division. So I think he matters that much. 2, I'm going to say Detroit. I love their draft. I know a lot of people didn't, but I love the guys they added. I might not have loved the value. Was a huge Jahmyr Gibbs fan. I think Sam Laporta is a game changer. And so they have a lot of weapons on offense, even without Jamison Williams. And I think he's a huge question mark all season long. 3, it's the Packers. I agree with you. I think Jordan Love is going to be solid in his first year starting. I like a lot of their weapons. And 4, it is all over in Chicago. I'm sorry. But the moment you trade Roquan Smith and then you go pay Tremaine Edmonds $50 billion and you think that is smart, that is not smart. You got worse and you're still paying a linebacker a lot of money. It doesn't make any sense. Right. I know a lot of people like the move for DJ Moore. Absolutely. I do too. DJ Moore is not going to save your quarterback. And so if they run Justin Fields, I think their offense could work. You're going to have to show me throwing the ball. I don't think it works. Chase Claypool is a bust for the second rounder. They had to give up 33rd overall to the Steelers. To me, they are 4th.
All right, Mr. 4th.
All right. Yeah, we got to get to the NFC West here.
Yeah, let's get to the West real quick.
Seahawks, 49ers, Cardinals, Rams. All right, we're not going to debate. The Cardinals are 4th. That to me is easy, unless you think it's the Rams.
Cardinals are the worst team. They're the worst team in the NFC.
Agreed. 49ers are the best team in this division to me. Seahawks are a close second, though, and there is some questions about that quarterback position in San Francisco. We'll see if Brock Purdy regresses. It seems like every day he throws an interception in camp, so I think it's really interesting that he has such a long leash.
I agree. I want to see the Seahawks do it another year, even though I like their draft. I like what they added. I'm going to steal your phrase. I like what they added to their team. And I want to see what the Rams look like with getting a healthy quarterback, a healthy Cooper Kupp. I want to see exactly what they are and who they are with Aaron Donald still there. I want to get a feel for it, because to me, they seem like a team that can jump on you or a team that you can jump on. You know, they might be one of those up and down teams every single week.
He better play like Thanos. He better have all 5 Infinity Stones. I looked at that defense the other day. I was on our lads looking at the depth charts.
Mm-hmm.
The point is that defense is not anywhere near what we saw at Super Bowl 56.
No.
And so Aaron Donald's really the only guy where I'm like, oh, he's a game changer. So we'll see there. But I agree with you. The Rams still have guys like Stafford, Kupp. We know that offense. Cam Akers is there at running back. We'll see. But that defense, it might be shootout time. So I would put the Rams 3rd and Seahawks 2nd, 49ers 1st.
Do you think if the Rams get off to a slow start, it's what contender wants Aaron Donald for a draft pick time?
It might be. And I wonder how long they would hold on to Cooper Kupp. I wonder if there's a quarterback injury across the league, if Stafford would be available again after offseason rumors of him being available. You know, like, I think if they get off to a slow start, things could really, really change.
And I agree with you about the quarterback situation with the 49ers. I don't even think the 49ers are worried about the division. I think the 49ers are worried about can we win those last 2 games with the guys that we have? Because they've been getting to those last 2 games. They just haven't been able to get past either the NFC champion or win the Super Bowl, but they've been in the hunt. The question for them is, can they win those games with whoever they have on that roster? And we will agree as we get ready to check out that Arizona's the worst team. I think they're the worst team in the NFL.
Yep. Caleb Williams. I hope you like Phoenix.
Kyler Murray might get traded too.
Yeah, I think that's a storyline to certainly watch. He is Tony Wiggins. I'm James Rapien. If you missed our AFC preview, make sure you check it out from last week. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow wherever you get your podcast. And for Tony Wiggins, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for listening and watching Locked On NFL.